Well, welcome to another lesson of the Discover Headless Tech course. I'm Marcelo Lewin, the Headless Creator. As always, get a hold of me, Marcelo, at headlesscreator.com. Today, my guest presenter is Ala Alwish, Head of Innovation and Technical Product Development Manager at A. He's going to show us how to create dynamic Figma designs with real content from our Headless CMS. Now, without further ado, let's get him in. Ala, welcome.
Glad to be here. Thanks for having me, Marcelo.
Glad to have you here. Thank you so much. So first of all, let's start with where are you located?
Today I'm in Istanbul.
Istanbul, so Turkey. So
Yeah.
what time is it over there?
It is 5:30 now.
Oh, okay. So close to dinner time. We're here
Yes.
very, very early in the morning in Southern California. So I'm glad to have you here. So let's start real quick. Tell us a little bit about your background before we jump into this demo.
Sure. I'm a technical product development manager and the head of innovation at Symbol A. We provide enterprise content intelligence solutions. I started my technical journey over 15 years ago with focus on software development, quality, and management. At the Innovation Labs team, the team develops Schematica suite, which includes multiple products, Figma plugins to help content and design team work together in an efficient way. And we develop other products for content engineering and governance, content boards, headless integration, and so on.
Very
So,
cool.
yeah.
And were you a developer before, or did you?
Yes, I am originally a developer.
What did you?
Yes.
What language did you program in?
Basically, Microsoft languages, C#.
Like C#,
then,
.NET.
Yeah, C#, .NET. Yeah.
What attracted you to technology?
Yeah, it was actually just the beginning of my life. I didn't have any other career, so that's my only passion. I started the university, then continued my master in Malaysia, and then started following my passion in semantics and graph technology, and now developing content engineering solutions to help design teams.
Yeah, definitely. Very cool. Well, but we're going to jump into your demo in just a second, but we were talking a little bit about hobbies, and a couple of your hobbies are chess, you said?
Chess, and I love to play piano. I am still a beginner, but I'm planning to have that as my objective for this year.
I tried for that. I tried doing the piano thing, but man, one hand, no problem. Two hands, it become completely uncoordinated.
Exactly. Yes.
Definitely. Yes. All right, Ala, no problem. All right, let's go ahead and show your screen. There you go. We see your screen. So for those of you watching live, if you're new, just put in questions in the chat for Ala. I'll jump in and ask you any questions, but I'm going to go ahead and let you take over, sir.
Thank you. So, okay, today I would like to talk about one of our Figma plugins called RealContent. It's a Figma plugin to elevate Figma designs with real contents from the Headless CMS. So let me first start with the current state in most organizations. So today, often they operate in silos, right? It's hard for designers to find real content. It's hard for designers to work with real content, so they end up using placeholder text. On the other hand, especially in a headless environment, content authors need to wait until the designers and the developers are ready in order to review their content. Also, we have this problem with the multiple iterations between design and development, because when you design something with like placeholder text without a real content, when the developers start developing, you have it, they publish, and then you see, surprise, like this is not my design, right? My design definitely not my design. So what breaks the design is actually the content. It's not the real content. It's the placeholder content that looks perfect in Figma, but when in reality with real content, it looks different. So that leads to lots of back and forth discussions, back and forth redeployment, redesign, and redevelopment. So what we're trying to solve with RealContent is actually to bridge that gap between the design and content and the development team by linking the RealContent entities from the Headless into Figma. So this is RealContent here. I'm going to close it and try to open it again just to show. So you can search under plugin for RealContent, called Schematica RealContent. So this is the plugin. Today we'll work with the demo content, which is coming from Contentful recipe website. But this will not use any like Contentful specific features. The demo we're doing today, it works pretty well with Content.ai and with Google Sheets. So we'll go ahead and move to this recipe website. So this data is coming from Contentful. I have 3 types here. And we'll move over to this lorem ipsum, or let's say placeholder with lorem ipsum. Let's say I have a design already. So the design is there. What I can do is, I can first browse the content types. So I need a recipe for this page. I can browse the recipe elements. I can see the different, instances or content items coming directly from the Headless. And then I can select the elements that I have, assuming that I have a design already. So I have try to have some more space here. So this is the title. And click this button. This button will actually replace and create a connection to the Headless. So it will replace the content and link. I can do the same for the image. I have this little description or about section here. And let's add some more elements like the ingredients, preparation. And with this, I can see like how my design breaks, right? If, for example, the preparation is shorter, I need now to go and fix my design, just to take that into consideration. So this is how you can basically use it if you have a design already. What I've done here is you can drag and drop everything from the Headless. So if you want to see everything in that content type, you can drag and drop all the elements. So I can choose another content type and see the difference between types. I can pull off this element from my design into from my frames into my
Quick
design.
question for you, Ola. If so you dragged and dropped basically an entry. That's an entry from Contentful, right?
Yes.
Mapped to
Yes.
all the fields on there. Now, if we
Correct.
go back to Contentful and update the content, will it update that entry there, or is that a copy?
It's not a copy, actually, it's linked. So we have this little icon
ID.
here. Yeah, it's pointing to an ID. Every element here is linked to the content
That's cool.
element in
Okay.
Contentful. So if you
I
see
go
like
and update the image for that entry, the image will be updated here.
the
Is there a
image-
way to
the image
do you
will-
trigger that, or is it an automatic thing? Is it pinging every couple of seconds?
Yeah, that's a great question. Actually, it's we have added this refresh button here, so
okay.
you can refresh the content from here. And again, if you see the link here, that means it's linked. If you detach, it will not update.
So the content will stay, but it won't be updated anymore.
Yes.
I see.
Exactly. It will be it is actually a Figma element here, but it's just linked. And if the plugin is open, you can just have that connection and swap the content or work with RealContent features.
Question for you: if you disconnect it, so it stays there, right, and it won't be updated anymore, can you reconnect it and it'll continue updating?
Yes, absolutely. So I have this element here. I can just detach. So now it's detached. What I can do is I can just click again and replace like this, or I can just bring in the elements from here into my design. When you add elements, it will be connected already. So all of these elements are already connected, right? Yeah.
So it seems like the workflow from a design perspective would be create your design, connect your data, maybe disconnect it temporarily so if data changes, it's not messing your design constantly, and then connect it again so that way you can see how it changes constantly, right?
Yeah, that works. Actually, it will not change until you actually use RealContent. So you select RealContent and use the features here. So
it won't automatically change it.
It will not automatically. Yes. This is what I wanted to highlight.
Because you have to hit the refresh button, like you said. Yep.
It's refresh or swap. Like you can swap the content. So if I swap the content, it will actually bring the new data from Contentful. But it will not automatically, change the design. This is definitely not the best experience. Yeah. But we're trying also to do some kind of like this is in the roadmap, just to highlight the elements that are updated. So if you're here, for example, you visit this 5 days later, you see that I have some content changed, and it will highlight so that you decide whether or not you want to replace.
Oh, that's very cool. That would be a cool feature. Cool. All right. Thank you.
Yeah. So go ahead, remove this design. So this is the first, like the design first approach, where I have a, placeholder or prototype already. Over here, I have linked some other elements. So I have my recipe details page ready. So now, because these elements are linked, if I select the page here, and then I can see that this is coming from the chocolate bread, and I can swap the content to other entities from Contentful, and I can see the content here updated. So and with this, I can try with RealContent. I can also copy this whole page over here. So I can copy and paste a couple of times, and just compare, maybe see my design side by side. So see, for example, this over here doesn't have a description, this recipe. So that needs to be taken into consideration. For example, some recipes, see if I have one recipe with so some recipes have like long text, and I can now revisit my design and fix these design issues. I can trim the text or change my design, but just working with RealContent will give me an idea on the rules, right, of the content, the constraints, and will help to enhance the design without many iterations, develop and publish and design iterations.
Another question for you. This is a great example of just copying and pasting the same design to see different lengths of content, right? How it reacts. So then you can adjust. And I would assume you would just select one of the designs and adjust it accordingly, and then retest. But can you copy and paste and then maybe do a landscape version, right? And I think you are probably going to show that. So if you're going to show that, tell me, and we'll wait for that.
Yes, I'm going to show this today.
You are? Okay.
Yes.
So then we'll wait, because I'm interested in seeing how it syncs across the different devices. So I'll let you continue.
Absolutely. Okay, thank you. So yeah, let me see, maybe we should move directly into this section over here, where we have the this task here. Say I want to add like this featured daily picks, and to do this, I want to design. I designed a component here. So what I'm going to show is to show how I designed this component. So I can design it with like an exemplary content. Like I can just choose the content source and drag and drop and design it. I can also choose the field names here. It's like the X-ray, where I can see just the the element name. So I can you just see the prototypes or placeholders. I can work with them. I can make my design. So I just want to show how I designed this component here. So this component now is linked. As you can see, these elements are highlighted. what I can do is to copy this component. I can place it into my design over here. Okay. Section here. So I have like 4. And then because this is linked, I can similarly like swap the content and get some content instantly from the headless. So you can see here, another example on, stress testing my design on what needs to be fixed. All right, sounds good. So this is, it's not just to, facilitate working with RealContent, also help to actually accelerate the designer's time by just getting a content instantly and swapping quickly. One thing that I wanted to mention is in RealContent, we support rich text. So let me bring the same example here. We have chocolate bread. So as you can see here, we have this profile of the chef or the author. So this profile actually in Contentful or in the headless is another type. So it's coming from the creator type here. So, but it says, another type, we have a reference from that type into the recipe, and RealContent will, recursively fetch the content from these references into the design. So it makes it easy for the designer to see the the elements they need and the elements they want to work with for their design. We also support the rich text and also references into rich text. I'm not going to show all of that today, like the advanced features, but all of that's supported.
Quick question on the creator, which is a reference to the content type creator, I'm assuming.
Yes.
If you zoom in on the design, you have in there there or the other one, whichever. You have an image, you have the first and last name, and you have maybe a tagline or whatever.
Okay.
How are you selecting that? Because here it's just a reference to the ID entry of Maggie, right?
Yes.
How are you selecting within that which field tags to what?
Yeah, so I can, how I designed this, actually, I did this. I dragged and dropped the elements into my design. So this is the name, So I drag and drop the elements directly.
Right.
You can do this. And you can go to the type. So I think the type is a profile. I can go to the type.
Oh, so you have to go to the creator type and then map it.
Not necessarily, because it's actually, if it's referenced, it will get mapped automatically. So you don't have to go here. This is actually the feature I was trying to demo. It's like when you drag and drop a referenced type, it will come with its link
with all the types, all the attributes,
the original type, and then yes, you don't have,
including your reference
navigation
attributes.
Experience, I think is exactly, yes.
Got it. And exactly. If you want to not display something, you just go into that attribute and just delete it, basically.
Yeah, delete or not add. Yes, exactly.
Yeah. Okay. Cool.
Exactly.
Thank you.
Yep. All right. So I'm going to move on to my another page here to show how RealContent works with components. Okay, so we have this homepage for the Real Cuisine website here. I designed this with these components. So I have, for example, just as an example, for the the watch, I have this this component. For the tablet, I have this component. Laptop, HD TV or large screens, I have different component. I have other components for the dark version, So just to show one example, and I want to mention something here, like this design is just to show the features of RealContent. So if we have professional designers watching us, this design is not necessarily following, it's not the UX and accessibility is not a perfect design, right? It's just to show the RealContent features and see how we can enhance the component experience. So these components over here, I just added them the same way. They are linked. So what I can do is I can actually select everything here, and this is linked to all of these components. So it's, if I swap to one content element here, it should go and update everything in my component. So like this, I'm just updating the component. It will go and for each instance of that component and update the content. This will help a lot. Can you zoom in
there a little bit so we can see those designs a little better? This is extremely powerful, actually, because you have different designs, different pages, different format. I mean, you have like an iPhone or whatever, but you're showing the content across all of them because the content is tied to the component, and the component is being used in all the designs. So when you update the content of that component, it updates across the board.
Exactly.
Very cool.
Yeah. What's happening today, I think, with designers, they create many of these components, or they create multiple variants with different content.
Mm-hmm.
So they end up having a lot of components, right? But with this, you can just swap the content from here, right, and see how the design flexes and stress test your design without needing to have to have multiple copies of the same component. You can of course override. I'm going to show that in a minute. You can override this and have like different recipes, right, in different instances in different places. But the idea is to make these components dynamic. So this component is dynamic because it has the link to the headless.
Yeah. One thing, and I don't mean to interrupt you so much, but it's just very cool stuff, and a lot of stuff is coming up on my mind here. But one thing to me that is extremely important here to note, especially coming from a content modeling perspective, and you want to support an enterprise-wise content model, designers, when they're adding stuff here and they can't find the content in the connection, now they know what is in the enterprise content model. Now they know, oh, that's not available, so maybe we need to add it. And now that breaks down, to me, it breaks down the silos of these teams, because now all of a sudden a designer isn't just on their own, just adding stuff without even knowing what exists. Now they know what exists and what doesn't. Now they can work together because they can go to the development team and go, hey, can you add this field? And they go, no, we can't do that because of this. Now there's communication. So to me, this is really cool from that kind of perspective.
Yeah, absolutely. Thanks for bringing that up. This is really like one of the things that this is our actually main mission with this plugin, is to bring together these different teams, right, so that they can work together in a smooth way. They can discover any disconnects between the different teams and work more efficiently.
Yeah, definitely can see that. Cool.
All right, so I think I have this mockups here. What we can do, just to maybe show, I can just try to scroll a little bit up to the designs of these components, just to show some features. So we have this for the watch. We have this for the tablet. Looks good. We'll just switch the HDTV here. And this is the laptop screen. So again, like I can now zoom in. I can see my designs in different rendering, I can select some of these components or all. I can swap and see where the design breaks. What I can also do, I can select the components here. And I can swap the language. So let me see. So here we can also, stress test with different languages, because this is one of the also the challenges that the designers face, because they, when they work with content in different languages, sometimes, some languages like German or Dutch, have long, lengthy text. Sometimes you have right to left languages. So working with languages could be really, really hard. I'm going to select the components. And
while you're doing that, I'm going to ask you on the languages. Is that a built-in thing in RealContent Plugin, or is it reading the languages that are in Contentful? So if I have 4 languages, it'll show me 4 of them and then swap the entry. Okay, so it's dynamically reading that.
It's dynamic, yes. It's reading from Contentful. And for this example over here, maybe I don't have translation. It will have a fallback to the English. But if you have...
Right. It respects Contentful's fallback.
Exactly, Contentful's fallback. And then, try to swap. I guess this sample here has some translation to Brazilian Portuguese. Yeah, so you can see now the website in Brazilian Portuguese in different rendering.
In all the channels. They changed it everywhere, in all the channels there.
Exactly, yeah.
Just so you know, you're freezing a little bit once in a while. It's just for the audience to know. So it's okay. I mean, we still hear you, so.
Okay.
Yeah.
Okay. Is it okay now?
Yeah, we're good.
Okay, perfect. Yeah. All right. So maybe because of, when I change all the components together and live streaming, maybe it takes a little while.
Possibly,
so I can actually, I can just change one. Like, I want to change one of these components over here. I can just, swap directly here and see, build my design, stress test on the screen itself and see how it works.
Now, this is updating it only in this channel, in the TV channel here.
Only in this channel, yes. Okay. If I reset, because it's linked to a component, if I reset, it will reset. So same. It's the integrated functionality of components, very similar to the same term in content engineering. Yeah. Yeah. So the next thing I wanted to show is actually relevant to what you were saying about, that debugging and maybe understanding the structure, breaking the silos between the team. So we have this locate feature over here that we can, when you click on it, it will actually see in all of your design. I have many titles in this design. So it will select all of the titles in my design. And I can navigate, see now I have all of these titles. I can now navigate the titles. I have 154 titles. So if I go like this, and I can see, that I have this title here, even if it's in a different language that I may not even know, if it's not my language, I may not even know that this is actually a title, and I have a title here. So you can navigate the different elements like this, the different selected elements like this with this navigation or location feature. Also, when we swap again, if I select everything and swap to field names, I can also see the schema behind. To your point, Marcelo, I think I can understand the structure of my design when I just select, for example, this component over here, and I swap to field names. and I can see the field names I have here, and understand the structure of the design.
So, you know how you showed where you select the title, it shows you 154 places. Now
Yes.
let's just pretend for a minute that for whatever reason, the content team says, you know, the title field we're going to deprecate because it's not we need to change it for whatever reason, and here's a new field in this content type. Can you somehow say, okay, this field is now this field and automatically update across 154 places, or right now you have to do it manually?
Yeah, I think that's a great question. It depends on the workflow, because changing the model is definitely one of the most challenging things in the headless environment. So if you just rename rename the same field, it should not break.
Right.
You have the same. But if you introduce a new field, now I think it depends on the workflow. If you keep the existing one, usually I believe in Contentful, for example, you do not delete directly; they will just disable, right? So
You
it
can
will
delete
be.
them if they're empty.
You can delete. If you delete, I think there will be here elements that are not linked to anything. So
Got it.
it just it has a unique identifier, right? So it should not cause any problems. But I think what we I think this is a great point, because what we should do is maybe as part of that workflow, let's update our design. So you select the elements and you click this replace button over here. And if you click it while all of the elements are selected, it will just simply, I think if you click this locate, it will select everything. If you click the replace with another element, you can do that.
So you could do that. So you
You
select
can
them
do
and
that.
replace it. Got it.
You replace them and you have a new ID, right?
Yeah. Now, a more realistic scenario would be that title, we set it up originally to accept no more than 100 characters. And because of the design and stuff, we say, you know what, we should really expand it to 200 characters. Will it automatically update? Because I'm assuming you're respecting the attributes of the fields here.
Yes, we have, like, we're honestly working more on like the constraints. For example, this is a must-have,
Right.
field. The star here on the constraints. If you refresh, of course, it will refresh, right?
Okay.
But if you, for example, overwrite, so I have this title over here. If I go to this and change it, make it more than 200, it will update. So we're not trying to limit the designer. It's just like right now, just to bring the content, the real content from the headless. But also on our roadmap, we're doing again some kind of like adding some more debugging features where you can highlight, these issues in the constraints of the content
Yeah,
model.
because I could see this working the other way around. It's not just saying, okay, bring in the constraint of 100 characters, but also after you design in all the channels, you say, you know what, really the title across all our channels shouldn't be more than 50. So somehow being able to say, okay, we know this, now communicate this somehow automatically back to the Headless CMS, maybe through an approval process. But to me, that seems like a great automated communication, right? Where it's like, you told me you allow up to 100, but really we shouldn't allow more than 50 going back.
Absolutely. Yes.
Yeah.
Yes.
Excellent.
Good point. Yeah. Yeah, I think this is what I really wanted to show for today. Please try it out today. You can just go to the Schematica community, search for RealContent or Schematica RealContent. You can try the exact same demo that I demoed today. Please share your ideas, feedback, features, feature requests or integration requests. Just contact the Schematica team. Can, I think, see the email should be written below my video cam. So
so you showed today with Contentful. What other integrations do you have right now?
Yeah, right now we have the integration with the content.ai. We also support all these advanced features with reference content. And we have also an integration with Google Sheets. It's still in beta, but we supported like supported images localizations. But also we're really open to support or integrate with other systems or headless CMSs. We're dealing with this like on demand. The more requests we have, the more we,
Right. Yeah, definitely. This was a great presentation, man. Thank you so much. Super impressive. I love the whole idea of not just automating the content. I mean, to me, it's one less thing for a designer to worry about. Finding images, creating content,
Yes.
right? You can pull it. Number two, it breaks down, we already spoke about the silo, communication silos. And then number three, I think when you do demo a design, it's so much better to see it with real content than lorem ipsum,
Yes.
right?
Yes. Absolutely. Yes, absolutely.
Yeah.
It will, like having the, a way to, visualize, improve the design in different languages, right? Coming directly from the headless, it will also make, will enhance the consistency of the content, because if you build the disconnected design, you update the content, and then after a while the design is outdated, right? So
Right.
Having this connection is really important, and this is what we're trying to solve with RealContent. Yeah.
Cool. All right, Ala, thank you so much. Everybody go check out that tool. It's in the show notes, so you'll be able to find the link there. And if people want to get a hold of you, right there at schematica@simplea.com, correct?
Yes, sure.
And you're on LinkedIn as well. So
LinkedIn as well, same name. Yes.
all right. Ala, it was a pleasure,
right.
man. And go practice your piano
Yes.
playing.
Thank you very much. Thanks for having me again.
Thank you. And thanks to the rest of you. I hope you enjoyed this episode. As you can see, I enjoyed it quite a bit. It was a very, very cool demo, and I'm definitely going to be playing with it. So please go ahead and get your account at headlesscreator.com so you can get the on-demand version of this. And we will see you on the next episode. Cheers, everybody.